Hello and welcome back. I am Amrak. This is game 8, my 5th game of the Platinum 2 group in Season 6 of the Intermezzo Championship. So we're getting close to the end of the season now. It's just this game plus one more. Thank you for watching these games throughout this group and for the likes and the subscribes. I really appreciate those. I'm excited to see them each day, so thank you for those. So far this season has gone pretty well. So let's take a look at the standings before we jump into the game. And unfortunately, I could not record these standings before the game actually started, so I cobbled this together. And from this, we can see that we are in the lead with 17 points and 4 games completed. DeCusto 2 is in second place with 14 points, but they have 6 games completed. And Ricycle is in third place with 11 points, but has 5 games completed. So we are very close at this point to locking up the group. But because these last 3 games of the group all happen at the same time, I didn't actually know these results until midway through the game. And that does become important in the game, so I'll bring it up in the video later on. But for now, let's jump into the game. We are in the first position for this one. There's a few good choices here in the first spot, or in the 1CA spot. Let's take a look at what's in the game real quick. So the 2 best wonders are right up in the front, arguably. Or at least the 2 maybe would be most likely to take. And who was in the front? Hippocrates and Moses. So there's lots of leader choices, I think, here. I imagine Cleopatra won't be available. And Hippocrates will not be. So, I mean, Homer's fine. Ashoka would be fine too. Let's see, we have St. Pete's and the Great Wall, Forbidden City, Harvard Ocean Liner, Statue of Liberty. There's no Suez Canal, there's no Red Cross. There's a couple of good wonders. Not much for labs this game. Jobs in Marie Curie a little bit. No Merlena, there's Pierre. There is Darwin. Gaudi, Nobel. Cook is here. And Isabella's here. There's no Columbus. Mike. So if you know me, you know that I think pyramids is kind of boring. Sure, it's fine. It's really good. All it does is give a CA. You know? So I'm going to instead use my 1 CA for this library. Because at least it does more than one thing. It gives me like 3 things. It's culture, science, and an extra card. So, yeah, so I think I'm going to take the library here, and there's options for leaders that are coming down the way. So red takes pyramids and Hippocrates. And blue takes Cleopatra, urban growth, and leaves the CA. And I guess blue will get Stonehenge. And I'm the only one that needs a leader. Guess we could... we're probably going to do that. Is red's going to build that, increase pop, elect Hippocrates, and then take like cultural heritage, I suppose, or frugality maybe. That means Homer falls off. So I get Moses for 1 this turn, or Sun Tzu for 1 next turn. Well, he'll probably be 1, right? So we got 1, 2, 3. My turn, yeah, he'll be 1. If I don't take urban growth, then take Moses and one of these 2. But with Moses, I guess I could just elect them. And I would want to do the order differently. Yeah, I don't know. You could take Homer and elect him next turn also. Maybe I like that a little better. Don't need to wait around for Sun Tzu, I don't think, in this situation. Red, Lexipocrates increases population, builds and runs, takes urban growth. And blue, Lex Cleopatra, builds a philosophy, increases population, and takes Stonehenge. And on our turn, we could probably put Good Harvest in there. And see what shakes out for Vast before we do that. And it's development of settlement. So get a population. And then I guess we probably build a lab here. And then what? So we could do printing press and urban growth and electron. Maybe. Maybe build a warrior. This printing press might be nice with Moses. Some extra population. Yeah. I mean, maybe a more conventional line might be something like this. Probably going to get an irrigation or an iron here. We have 3 science here already, so it seems okay. I mean, the printing press is fine. Doing that, there's just not a lot of options here. I mean, we have Leo, we have Darwin and Gaudi. We don't have Shakespeare. We don't have I can't think of his name now. Fleming or Einstein. So our options are limited as we go along. I mean, we can certainly make it work, but I'm not sure that it's worth doing that here. So just doing something like this, and then I guess you could really go rich land or urban growth, but probably rich land. I mean, if we get a religion and we have Homer's smiley face, we may not. It is possible we wouldn't build another building, so we could take rich land here. Red takes urban growth, builds a stage of pyramid, takes cultural heritage. Still doesn't build the lab. Going for printing press, I guess. Blue takes code of laws, builds a stage of Stonehenge, develops code of laws, and takes breakthrough. All right, and now it's our turn. So cartography did stick around. So maybe we could take it and put vast territory. And we also have a colonization card. And monarchy is here. There's no iron or irrigation yet. And red and services could be nice. So what would the turn look like? Cartography, monarchy. Reserves increase population, potentially. Getting that swordsman could be nice. We have 3 resources. Maybe we don't take reserves. We could... Building a stage of this doesn't really help. Guess we just put the vast in and see what happens. So we can almost finish. We take those 2. Yeah, it's a little tricky. I guess we just finish this. Or build 2 stages. Definitely makes revolting into monarchy harder. Yeah, we won't really be able to do that, but maybe that's okay here. That's not what we do next turn. We can get out of corruption this way, but getting this more done is going to be, I think, more useful than reserves here. So let's do that. We can do that as well. I mean, we're going to want a person here to colonize vast territory anyway. We're going to get good harvest. And we get to use one of Homer's resources. We don't have a tactic for it yet. And we do have a night tactic. So that's not ideal. Otherwise, we're just throwing his resource away right now. Still think I like this better here. We'll go with that. The red plays cultural heritage, takes masonry and builds it, finishes pyramids, and builds a philosophy. Blue and red do a pact. So blue can use the food as a resource, and they do. To finish Stonehenge, take Saladin, elect him, take knights, build a warrior, and use Saladin for a civil action. Now it's our turn with Homer. So we put that vast territory in. We can probably put raiders in, I think. I mean, cultural influence is just as good, I suppose, here. Another night tactic. Pestilence and raid. It doesn't help us too much. So we still want to finish this. Then what do we do? Don't really need these wonders. Patriotism is not the best right now. Not sure when we're going to use engineering genius, although it's always nice to have. And we can increase population and develop cartography. So we didn't get swordsmen, but that's sort of okay because we really want knights in this situation. You know, we may not get it, is the problem. And then, let's see, if we do that, it's So we could, in theory, revolt to monarchy next turn. So we have another population we could put into a warrior. This also, we're going to have to use one to colonize anyway. I like saving the science instead of using it on swordsmen. We also want knights with our tactics. We are strongest, which is kind of nice for now. So I think we're good with this. Get rid of 3 cards. Heavy cavalry, we can get rid of. Raiders or pestilence. Guess we can get rid of the raid. And I don't know which one. Do I want to maybe lose resources or you definitely lose a population? I guess we'll play pestilence. And red and blue do a open borders agreement. Red takes irrigation upgrades, or develops upgrades, increases pop, takes swordsman. And blue reveals development of religion. I think we have a population. Increase population, develop knights, build one, take breakthrough for 3 in Richland. Having all those civil actions is useful. And then they use Saladin for strength. So that event might be not a good one. Or a strength one anyway. So do we want to put pestilence into the first deck? Not really. I'd rather put it in the next one, but what does the turn look like? We build a temple. Yeah, that's a little frustrating. If we don't build a temple, we could revolt. Build one of those warriors. So the only thing I guess we're not getting in this plan is alchemy, maybe urban growth, rich land, maybe knights. Which it would be nice to have. But let's say we take our temple, even though we have Homer. And then I guess we can get an alchemy going, and then an urban growth for the next one. Arguably, we don't need alchemy because we have the library already. And that will get us by until we get scientific method, maybe. There is also another alchemy that we could reach for. Yeah, I mean, this religion, I suppose, is worth a civil action and 3 resources. And if we have corruption, it's only 2 resources. I mean, we can just develop monarchy next turn. Also, kind of want this knights. I really don't like how this turn's coming together. It just doesn't add up quite correctly. Play an event. I think I'm going to play an event to just mix it up and see what happens. So science wouldn't change anything. Warfare doesn't change anything. Crafts would help and agriculture would both help. Trade routes would help. Civil life would help. Planning. So 5 of the 7 would be good. So I think I'm going to put pestilence in. It also pushes vast out a little sooner. So we can win that sooner, which would be nice. So I'm going to go ahead and put pestilence in, and we'll just hope for the best here. Agriculture. So I think that's going to be good here, because now we can get the temple, increase pop again, and not have corruption. And now we can choose what we want to do here. We can create an alchemy. I don't think that's what I want, though. I think what I want to do here is take Genghis Khan, elect him, and build a warrior. So now we don't have corruption. We're not going to put the tactic out. We don't have too many cards. And I think it's pretty good. I mean, maybe we leave one here for pestilence reasons. We don't really need to build this. I guess a reason would be to use the resource. I guess I also want to maximize the chance I draw an event. So leaving 2 actions here could be important for that reason. So we really just lose 1 resource, and that's probably fine. Yeah, I think I'm gonna not build it here. Just lose the resource. Ugh, crap. I did not get an event to play, unfortunately. Red reveals cultural influence. Looks like Nardo, Watson. This printing press builds 1, increases population twice, and builds a warrior twice. Plays fighting bit. And blue tries an aggression against red. Interesting. Oh, because they have open borders. Right. But it fails. Blue increases population. Ups irrigation, upgrades, takes urban growth. Okay, well, we're not going to do kidnap and we don't have an event, so we can skip that. I think I would like to get the Great Wall here. It's kind of eyeing it with Genghis Khan and warriors, and maybe we can even grab the swordsman next time. So we know about all these events. So keeping a population around for pestilence could be good. So we don't really need to be strongest here. We can defend fine. We can hold 3 cards. I think a question is whether we try to get strongest or not. So we can do this. We can't increase population next turn unless we take reserves. The problem is if someone plays an event and pestilence comes out, we don't have a spare population. No, and not blue does. But if we're strongest and we seeded these events from the first spot, it's likely that the other folks would not want to play an event. Although blue, not being weakest, may do it. But red can get stronger, develop, upgrade all of these or something. And then they would be stronger, and then maybe blue doesn't play an event, and then we do. We actually wouldn't even draw an event in this situation. Because we can do this to draw one. Take reserves, so we can increase population next turn. So the alternative is we don't build this. Something like that. And I think we're probably fine if we do this. We're going to have corruption regardless. Reserves helps us get some food. We're prepared. We're sort of telegraphing pestilence. So a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see, because if we build this, we get 3 culture. So by not building this, we maybe save 2 resources, but definitely lose 3 culture. Yeah, or we just do this, we're strongest, and they probably don't play events. So if we don't do this, next turn we'd be up to 5 when we finish the Great Wall. Five may not be good enough. I guess there's a risk here. I mean, if we stay like this, then everyone's probably going to play events. They'll know that they're not strength. Yeah, I think we're just going to risk it. I don't really want to give up the information that these aren't strength events yet. Hopefully no one plays an event. or that vast, or I guess vast or good harvest come out instead of pestilence. Yeah, I guess we're also giving this tactic to blue for what that's worth. But I mean, it's possible. I don't know why they wouldn't have played the tactic. Maybe they don't want to give it to me. Maybe that's it. If they play it, then I can copy it. Yeah, you don't know. But it's probably fine to give it to them. We can keep up with the Great Wall. Well, we did get an event to play. So red reveals good harvest. Increases population with that food. Developed swordsman, upgrades. So we're up to 7. And takes Silk Road. That's a really late Silk Road. And takes Frugality. Blue increases population, builds a knight, takes coal, develops it. Keeps Saladin's strength bonus. Now it's our turn. So we are weakest. And I'm not weakest, I guess. But we don't want Pestilence to come out right now. So we're probably not going to play that event. We do want to finish the Great Wall, though, I think. And then we have a turn left to take Swordsman. Anything else we want to do here? It is kind of late for alchemy. Although scientific method might be sought after. And the problem here is we're not preparing for Pestilence. Who played that event last time? Red did. And Red was at 4. And Blue was at 6. So they played an event when they were weakest. So maybe they'll do it again. So I would really like to get Swordsman here. That just means we can't finish the Great Wall. And we can't research Swordsman. Iron, arguably. Could be nice here. We have the rich land. One of the coals is taken. And red doesn't have it, so we're going to fight over it. We could take the iron, increase population. And that's not enough. Can't research Swordsman. So we really can't do all that. So I think I don't like that the coal's taken and the other coal might get taken. And we're at 3 bronze for till age 3, and yeah, I'm not super comfortable with that. I mean, if there's 2 coal, that'd be fine. If red had iron, I think it'd be fine. In this situation, I'm not super comfortable with it, so I think we can do this. I think we are resigning ourselves to not be strongest for a while. Because I don't know what blue has in store here, but they can get up to 12 just with medieval army if they happen to have it. Or I suspect they might have heavy cavalry as well. Which also gets them to 12 if they build another unit, which they're not going to do this turn. So we're not getting swordsmen either. But we don't need swordsmen, and we're a little behind on economy. I think it's better to do iron here than alchemy, because red has printing press already, and there's 2 scientific methods, at least in journalisms and things to choose from. So I think I need to do this, unfortunately. I'm not going to play Dark Ages. So yeah, we're going to go with this. Okay. So red takes breakthrough. Upgrades farm, takes rich land. So at least we're not weakest. And blue reveals vast territory. Okay. So this is good. Pestilence didn't come out. I guess it's good, even though we left a population there. We have a lot of colonization cards, and we have cartography. So my assumption is that we're going to win this. So we're definitely going to put in everything. And we won for only 5. So that's pretty good. 3, 4, 5. Cool. Blue upgraded coal, took wave of nationalism, and copies phalanx. Yeah. And it's our turn. Took wave of nationalism for 3. I guess not a lot else to do on his turn. So this pestilence is there. And we want to not play, well, I mean, we could, yeah, I mean, we probably don't want to play an event. Whatever blue put in there, we don't know. We're weakest. And what's our turn look like? We're definitely finishing the Great Wall. Yeah, and then I guess we should get into iron as soon as we can, right? There's also this cannon. I don't know if we should speculate on it right now, but it is important to have with the Great Wall. I mean, maybe we'll never see a tactic. Who knows, right? So if we didn't do that, I guess we would do... something like that. Although now we can't really do that because of pestilence. I guess we just increase twice and build a warrior. Yeah, and we just, if we did want to get cannon, is there a way to make that work? So we want to finish the wonder. Man, architecture would be nice too. We take cannon. And increase pop, build one of those. So we take cannon instead of getting into iron now. Instead of getting iron started. I don't know how long we're going to hold this cannon, and I think we really need to get iron going if we're going to do it at all. And I think we need to, because we just don't know when coal's going to come. So I think this is what we go with here. Okay, that's in the turn. Okay. What do we get rid of? We're not very popular on science right now. I don't know. I guess Dark Ages. Wow. The red takes Cannon. Develops it with Breakthrough, takes Mary Teresa, elects her, increases population with Frugality, trade routes, and gets stuff from Mary Teresa. Increases again, builds a Swordsman. So we got 2 culture and 2 science from her. And blue reveals Barbarian. Well, that's not good. So that hits us. He takes the Railroad and Engineering Genius. So we'll have 8. I can't quite finish it next turn, but it's close. There is the Ocean Liner. We would like to have that. Still pretty early. We could finish it next turn if we didn't do anything, although we have to spend some resources to get out of corruption. We are not strongest, and Pestilence is next. And everyone's ready for it, except me now. So if it came out, we would lose something. So if we take Ocean Liner, then we can't get a population out. So I guess we'd upgrade this, and then we'd lose the bronze. I mean, it's not too bad. And we do get Ocean Liner, so we're investing in population in the future. We're gonna have 6, 8, so we can't finish it next turn, but the turn after that. And that's probably still good enough. Halfway through H2. Wow. By the time we finish it, we'll be 75% of the way through H2. So it's a little bit late, but it's not bad. Maybe we could still get resources from an event here. So, do we just put in popularization of science? I mean, there's not a... Well, I mean, I guess we'd produce 1 resource less if we did that. So we might as well keep our resource over 2 culture here, and I guess we would get some knowledge of the deck here. I don't think that's worth it here, probably. So what are we not getting? We're not getting Darwin. We're not getting Opera. Which is not the worst thing in this case. We're not getting Architecture. There's no science text here, though, which would be a thing we need. That's a big problem. We're saving science and civil actions and things on food because of Ocean Liner, which is definitely what we need. We're leveraging what we have more of, which is resources. That's good. We don't need navigation. We have cartography. Ocean Liner is going to be better than Statue of Liberty here. We already have a government. Strategy would be really nice to have, but I don't think we can take it here. Yeah, that's about it. So I think this is fine. So we can probably end the turn here. This one in the war, I think. Man. All the cards here. Jeez. It'd be nice to get a territory. And red does reveal Pestilence. Takes organized religion, develops and upgrades, and takes urban growth, develops cannon. And blue reveals uncertain borders. That's terrible. Finishes the railroad, takes strategy. So, yeah. All right, so what are we gonna do? We are weakest. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll skip for a second and see. I think it may be better to destroy the agriculture, though. I could also destroy the religion, but I don't. I mean, we're gonna need an agriculture within several turns, but until then, we don't really need it. I mean, I guess it does. Because it does help us get some extra food, which we'll need when we lose the population, and we don't want to rebuild up food right away. And the hope would be that this religion, we can move it over to team sports anyway. We're not getting this organized religion right here. So this is not going to solve our happiness problems, but this food could keep us going for a while. So maybe get rid of that. We lose a culture, but that's fine right now. We sort of had too many happy faces anyway. So then in this turn, we need to get this cannon. Hopefully red has a plan for their cannon and we can do something to copy it. Then we want to get out of corruption. Revolutionary idea would be fantastic, but we can't get out of corruption then. And I mean, maybe that's okay to do that. I think I'm more inclined to do this. Get all those upgrades out of the way. We can't use any of these 5 cards here. I mean, what do we... We're ending corruption. We're banking some civil actions for later. And instead of... For that, we're not getting this revolutionary idea for science. I think that's a tough call and could go either way. But with the number of civil actions we have, we just don't have very many. Getting this out of the way, I think, is helpful. You know, you could argue that science helps us get civil actions, but I think this is the right call. We're not playing an event because we're weakest, and probably just not worth it here based on what events could come out. And we have to get rid of 3 cards. I think I'd like to keep an event, and I think it's unlikely there's a lot of territories, so we don't need all of those. Prosperity, I think, could be helpful as we start losing food from Ocean Liner, is my thought there. I don't have a lot of confidence we're going to have a lot of science, or that we won't have unhappiness, so that's the thought there. It's kind of a rough spot here, getting a little pinched here in the middle of the game. So, I mean, we could build this warrior also. It gets us 3 culture, but we're still weakest the whole time. I think blue's or red's going to get stronger. And it takes a military action away, and I'd really like to get that card draw here. And we just hope all of the events are not strength events. All right, well, we didn't get what we wanted, unfortunately. Red reveals scientific breakthrough, increases population, builds a swordsman with their extra resources, builds 2 stages of Silk Road, develops Republic, revolutionary idea, journalism, coal. It's pretty good. Blue takes Nobel for 3 right as he comes out. Upgrades to a coal, upgrades to an irrigation, takes architecture. And now it's our turn. I think there's probably 2 options here. mean, we could think about playing politics, but then one is we get that done. So it's important to get that done. We really need another military tech, though. I can see... I mean, red probably is not going to take riflemen, although they certainly could. Cavalrymen would make more sense. Riflemen could make sense to take it away. Red likely will. There is another rifleman coming, and it's probably going to make it to us. Another problem, I guess, is we're going to lose Genghis Khan probably after Blue's turn, so not on our turn. So this is one option. We could even get justice system in there somehow. The other is we take riflemen. Then what? Develop justice system. And do something like that. So in this situation, we can, again, finish Ocean Liner next turn. And here we'll go down to 9 on our turn. That's better than 7. But again, it won't even be until later anyway. And maybe we actually don't even do that because we don't want to use the military action. We'd like to draw a tactic. We take patriotism. So when it goes down to 7, blue or red's not going to take 5 cards from here. So we can cover the aggression here, and then on our next turn we have riflemen and patriotism. We would go riflemen, patriotism, upgrade some riflemen, maybe 2 or something, and finish Ocean Liner and get a population. And it's still going to be H2. Well, it probably might become H3. It just means we'll draw 1 less H3 card because we're going to have to upgrade 2 of these. You know, and then maybe we're in a position to get a cavalryman if we don't have a better tactic yet, and we put that in play here. So it's one of those two. Ocean Liner now. Even if we did Ocean Liner now, we could still do this, right? No, can't do that if we're going to finish it. So justice system is getting that right now, even though it is the end of H2. But that's like a reasonably good reason to put off Ocean Liner in addition to getting this rifleman. I think I have not a lot of confidence that red won't take this rifleman here. And I think blue's going to want the other rifleman, and it's more than likely going to come out where they can grab it. It will cost 3. So that's sort of one consolation here. But I would really not be surprised if they took it for 3 here. I mean, you could make the case they don't need to because they're strong enough already, but it is just something they need. And it really could come to a lower CA2, to a better place for them to grab it. And I really don't like taking this rifleman for 3. What I think I'd like to do is some version of justice system to get out of corruption and to have more CAs next turn. Getting this patriotism for some resources and military actions for fixing some of the military. Then we have 3 actions left. It would be really nice to just do that. So now we're 1 action away from finishing Ocean Liner, and it gives us, I mean, there's a lot of cards that people want. There's military techs, scientific methods, and a team sports. I mean, blue wants the team sports, the scientific method, the rifleman. Red wants scientific method. They don't need the team sports, but they could use the cavalrymen. And in their situation, if they take riflemen, it lets them use Maria's resources to upgrade. And I just wouldn't be surprised if that happens here. And so if we do this, then sort of worst case, red takes cavalrymen and riflemen. blue takes the other cavalrymen and riflemen. I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll try to take the riflemen, but not the cavalrymen. So sort of worst case, we can still get cavalrymen, research it, and fulfill this tactic. So we would go up to like 13 strength from where we are. And that's, I guess, not a super bad worst case. There's a lot of better cases that happen. We can get justice system, which fixes our corruption. Then we can play this for resources. And we can get patriotism and breakthrough. So I think this gives us a good chance to fix military. You know, there will be a military tech left, I'm sure, cavalrymen or riflemen. And so we can get 2 techs down, though, in case we have a tactic for it with, you know, cannon and riflemen or cavalrymen. And just this gives us a few science, which we need, which is pretty important now because we don't have a lot of science. This justice system gives us another civil action next turn to help get something done. But we're definitely weak here, and we're going to have to fix that somehow next turn. We have the reserves and the patriotism. I mean, maybe we're just not going to be able to invest in Ocean Liner here. Maybe that's just something that'll happen. We can take one of these agricultures and one of these labs and do something with it if we need to. So we're going to go with this. I don't like this turn very much. It's not a very fun turn. I have to get rid of 4 cards. I guess if we know economic progress is coming, we can, like if we get into oil early or something, it could be an option. We could play economic progress. Prosperity can be important with Ocean Liner to get a couple of extra food to lose later on. Economic progress will help these 2 as well. So maybe we keep prosperity. If we lose, we're going to get more happy faces if we have to lose some population to blue here. All right, so let's go with this and hope for the best. Maybe we'll get another defense card. Or tactic. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, come on. That's no fun. Well, at least the military text didn't come out yet. It just makes it more expensive for blue to take them. The blue sent a knight and a card. So that's pretty good. And red finishes Silk Road. Plays Revolutionary Idea. Takes Frugality. Does take the Cavalrymen. Selective Breeding. Develops and upgrades one. Okay, so they did leave Riflemen, which is good. Blue takes Scientific Method, develops it, upgrades, takes Rifleman. So yeah, it wasn't good that red left Rifleman. I don't really know. I guess it sort of is because now there's another one around. But again, it's on 3 and Cavalryman is on 2 again. So it's not a whole lot better. I probably still don't want to play an event. Although if I had played one last time, we might have won that wealthy territory. But I don't want to play one still, I don't think, here. And I think with this science situation we're in, and with Scientific Method and these efficient upgrades staring me right in the face, it's just too hard to turn that down. And then we have, do we want to do anything for military? Do you want to do anything on the Wonder? Cavalryman, you know, gets us this tactic, but this tactic's not that good anyway. So I don't, I mean, we could take it perhaps. I don't know that I want to develop it yet. And we could put another person here, but that's not real great. It doesn't signal good things to the other players. We also have corruption with cavalrymen. If we go with cannon and build one. And we can get out of corruption and take reserves. So this is a gamble because we don't have a tactic, although of course they don't know that. We don't have a tactic, but it looks like we're doing something. Instead of building another warrior, that's kind of a signal of weakness, I would say at this point. So the cannon at least makes it look like we're doing something. We can get into scientific method next turn and finish Ocean Liner depending on what happens. It's hard to go to war with us in this position and having patriotism and reserves. And I think blue also doesn't have a window this turn to do it as much because they would need another military action and they don't have it in order to get out classic army and go to war. Red's probably going to take my rifleman and cavalryman's going to fall off. So we're not going to get one of those two. So this is a risk, but I think this is what I want to do. I mean, we could reach out for riflemen and get into it. It would be like, basically like this. You know, I mean, that's fine. It costs us 4 resources. And to do this, in order to defend, we have to put a warrior here. But now we're holding 2 techs since it's not as weak looking as it would be otherwise. I think I just want to risk it on the other option. I don't want to spend 2 resources here and lose 2 to corruption. And we miss out, because it costs us like civil actions to grab this, and we don't get 1 on the wonder. You know, if we got really, I guess if we got really desperate here, we could copy that tactic, but it's not that many extra strengths from doing that. So I think I'm going to get into this cannon. You know, it costs, we don't have a lot of science, but we soon will have more science, so that won't be quite as costly. And go with this. So we're gonna have to get rid of 3 cards, I think. And we'll just hope that this rifleman makes it, or, you know, an H3 tech comes up pretty soon. And that we see a tactic. Yeah, I can copy a tactic. Don't want to... what do we want to put in here? We are going to need some happiness with the ocean liner. We don't have any yet. Terrorism, I think, is a little too iffy to put in. Don't know where that's going to land. Same with national pride, actually. Then prosperity or the territory. We have the colonization bonus, and we're not in a bad spot for the territory, so maybe we keep that. Get rid of prosperity. We don't need the food really anyway. And that should be the turn. All right, this is risky. I'm not sure how this is going to work out, or could deviate a lot based on what we draw here and what comes out here. So let's hope for the best. That's not the best. So red reveals Cold War, and we don't get that. And then takes patriotism for 3. Wow. And reserves. And plays frugality. And with a lot of stuff happens, because of Silk Road and Mirror Teresa. Takes fundamentalism and develops. Expands the swords and builds a cannon. Interesting. So a couple of things from that. But let's see, blue reveals Crime Wave, which is also bad for us. And then takes Revolutionary Idea for 3. Develops Rifleman, upgrades twice, and upgrades the second. Why did it just suddenly decide to beep like that? I don't get it. Don't want to play an event, probably. And I think I see two main ways to approach this turn. One is to take military buildup and sort of focus the turn around that. The other is to finish the wonder and do something with that. in both of them, we have to take riflemen. So then if we take military buildup, then sort of like, what do we do with the rest of our turn here? We're too weak, so we could discover riflemen and upgrade those 3. We have an action left to maybe take team sports, which is important. So now we're out of corruption. We have military buildup and a bunch of yellow. So in this situation, it becomes much harder, probably, to do a war against us. Like, the biggest issue, though, is we just don't have the population to use military buildup. Like, we'd have to destroy a couple of things and put them over here. We can get 8 strength that way. I think the biggest problem is that red just can build a cannon and a tactic and gain like 12. I mean, we assume they have defensive army here, right? Sorry, not that, right here. And so they just need 1 more cannon, and they'll get 12 strength plus 3, 15, so they go to 36. And even if we get 8 here, we're at 25. So it's not bad, but it's not great. So we have to absorb 1 war, and then we can copy their tactic, essentially. You know, we destroy these 2 things, put them there, then destroy another thing and put it there. Or I guess we could, at that point, finish Ocean Liner, get a population, destroy things, get 3. So maybe we can get 3 cannons, which is 12, so we can get to 29 and lose 2 population. Once you have Ocean Liner going, the population's not too bad. Or War of Tech. You know, hopefully they don't have War of Culture. So that's one way. I think you could also, like, instead of going into Riflemen, you could do reserves for food. Seems a little silly to do that when you have Ocean Liner, though. Okay, another option. You still take Riflemen, finish the Wonder, get a population, build a cannon. And with the 2 actions, we either start getting into scientific method, which I would really like to do, but we're not stable yet, so I don't think we can do that. I guess we could play this patriotism, build a cannon, and take team sports. I think team sports could be important here, both because we're going to need happy faces soon, and because appears in the game. We don't know when any of these happiness things are going to happen. Really, professional sports is the only viable other option. And Chaplin's going away, and we don't want him. Movies is not going to be good enough for us. So I think team sports is probably important. So here's another option. We finished the Wonder. We're not quite as strong. We haven't committed to Riflemen yet. And I probably like the military buildup option better. I think, you know, it's good protection for us. So we do Riflemen, upgrade to Yada Corruption, take team sports. Yeah, seems pretty fine. And then we could get into scientific method next turn, depending on what happens. We can finish this next turn, get a population, build a cannon, and maybe this is enough to scare off a war. Probably not, but, you know, we could have a tactic. We're not going to draw anything. I guess that's a downside here. The other option, we draw 3 cards. Here we don't draw any cards. But in exchange, we get military buildup. I think I like this a little bit better. I mean, in either situation, I think we can get 3 units out next turn with the actions and everything we have. It's just with military buildup, we will have resources left after we do that. And with the other option, we use all of our resources, basically, in order to make it happen. And I think there's a little bit more intimidating when you have military buildup, and it's harder to pull the trigger on a war. Let's go with this. 2 cards. I mean, impact of strength is not impossible here, really. It might be a nice impact to hold on to. Historic territory may be... I mean, really, both of these could be fine. Impact of strength is very reasonable if we get a tactic. And historic territory is reasonable with ocean liner. Probably get rid of the territory, though. And red reveals foray, which is not good for us. And then, let's say, increases population, takes reserves, builds another cannon, plays reserves, upgrades another organized religion, takes air forces for 3. No tactic yet, unfortunately. And blue reveals immigration, does not affect anybody. Takes satellites, researches it, increases population twice, builds a rifleman, and takes multimedia. So blue is strongest again. So we don't know what these events are, but presumably they're bad. Because red played most of them. The foray was from blue. So maybe the other blue event is a strength event. Refugees, maybe we plan on losing a population here soon. So I think there's 2, we're not putting impact of strength in. So there's 2 options primarily, I think, here. One of them is to finish ocean liner, increase population, maybe patriotism, build a cannon, take revolutionary idea. Then we have 1 action left. I'm thinking it's to play reserves. Now that we have ocean liner, we probably don't need the food. So we can do that. We don't have corruption. It's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, you can right here, I guess, do scientific method, but we're too weak to defend, so I think we have to build it. The other option is to grab a leader here. Gandhi would kind of be helpful. We'd still have to build a military unit, but to take the war pressure off, if there was any. Blue still can't really threaten with a war, and red can if they ever do it. Can't get the air forces for a while though. So I mean, it's a little awkward to get it done though. You can research something like scientific method, but that seems wrong. You could do reserves, increase pop, elect Gandhi, and build a cannon. We're not in as good of a spot for losing a population, for example. Also, I mean, blue got stronger, so you wouldn't think it's Independence Declaration, but Independence Declaration would be pretty terrible. I guess that's why we have team sports also, so we can deal with the happiness problem when that happens. So I think because we have impact of strength, I think we go with this plan of finishing ocean liner. We can't defend, so we have to build a unit. We might as well use patriotism here, I think, so we draw 3 cards. Then revolutionary idea is probably right here. It's probably too late for oil by the time I get into it, so Marie Curie is not good. We could take Gandhi. I'd rather keep that revolutionary idea away from red though, to stop the air forces. And there's only one more of those. And now we have one action kind of awkwardly left here. Don't want to research anything, don't want to play military buildup, so it only leaves reserves, and it's probably safe to put that into resources. Safe-ish, anyway. So I think that's the turn. We just need to hope for Pierre to come out soon. I mean, even Churchill would be good. We try to get stronger for that impact of strength, which I think is still possible here if we can get a tactic. The tanks would be super helpful if we can get that. Someone gonna take that? Red may, but I don't think so. Blue definitely would. Probably will, but I mean, there's nothing we can do about that this turn. Just hope. Alright. So that's our turn. And we hope for not too many more bad events to come out. And red reveals inhabited territory. So even though we have ocean liner, it would still be nice to have that. It helps with our food, so we don't need to go past agriculture. Helps with happiness, though we do have team sports. Certainly there's other territories that would help us more, but this certainly wouldn't be bad. We're going to have to get rid of one of our colonization cards next turn anyway. We're not in a good position for this one. So we can bid a unit, and then we have to deal with blue. So blue would be up by 10. And we only have 3 military actions. So I mean, we could go this far. If we did, let's see. This, we can only defend up to 9. And yeah, there's lots of aggressions possible out there. We can go up to here though. I don't think this will win it. Unless blue knows something else about the territories and doesn't want to bid for this one. Wow. Red wins it for 10. Well, take some of the military pressure off at least. That's nice. And now it's time to bring these scores back up. It was at this point in this 5th game that the 4th game completed and it became clear what these scores actually were. And looking at this, we can see that we're ahead of Tecusto 2 and all of his games are done. Ricicle only has 1 game left and can't catch up. You can only get 5 points in a game. BlixLT only has 1 game left and can't catch up. So IirionClaus is the only one left that can catch us at this point, and he would have to win both games, getting 5 for each game, getting him 17 points, and we would have to get last in both games, leaving us at 17. And since he beat us more than we beat him, he would go into first and we would go into second. So that definitely factors into the decisions in the rest of this game. So let's jump back in and see how it goes. It in red sends 3 swordsmen in a card. Takes reserves, develops cavalrymen, takes reserves, builds a cavalryman, plays mechanized army. That's pretty good for them. Builds a printing press. That's a turn. And blue reveals Independence Declaration, which is not good for us. So many of these strength events. Okay. Develops multimedia, destroys a coal. Interesting. And builds a multimedia, takes democracy. I guess with the railroad, it's okay to destroy that coal. Get some science and culture. Alright, so one good thing is that we did get this team sport, so we are prepared for this contingency. And then we basically have to do this much. Then I think we take air forces. So now both air forces are out. We can't leave it. We need to get it. We have military buildup. We're weakest. What's left? Refugees, so we can lose another population, or politics of strength. I don't think we want Gandhi. Again, we have military. We have impact of strength. I think now that there is actually a tactic out we can use, I think we have to be in a position to use it, which means taking tanks. Now we need a turn to get our scientific method out, or computers if we happen to be able to get it. We need Pierre to come out for team sports. And then we're not in too bad of a spot. I think we should do international tourism here. In the league right now, in order to win, we need to get, basically need to get at least second place in one more game, or have blue not finish first in both of the last two games. If blue can finish first in both of them and we finish third in both of them, then we won't win. If we can get second in either of them, or get blue to not finish first in either of them, then we win our league, or our group, or whatever, in the championship. So to help with that, I think what we do is we offer international tourism to red here. I mean, red's ahead, but red just is hurting a little bit on economy here. But that will give us both a boost if we do that. And I can't see why they wouldn't want to accept it. They're going to get more points than we are anyway, but we both will get some. And that will help against blue. So he built a multimedia. What's he going to want to do with that? It's not even clear. There's not even a good multimedia leader here. Okay. Yep, so let's do that. International tourism to red. And the pact is accepted, which is good. And we lose the vast territory. And basically just go with the plan. So we get team sports out. And build one of those. Get our happy faces up. And take the air forces. Take the tanks. And end the turn with that. Get rid of a defense card and the aggression. We're probably not going to do the aggression. Holding out hope for that impact of strength, though. And red reveals politics of strength. So we get hit by another strength event. Plays patriotism. Increases population twice. Builds a cannon. Plays reserves. Builds a cavalryman. Takes revolutionary idea and military theory. So they are in a pretty good spot to pull off a war if they wanted. And blue reveals, okay, it's just freedom of movement. So that's a little bit better. And then he develops democracy, takes rockets, Manhattan Project, and reserves. Has a little corruption, but has a good number of resources to at least get Manhattan Project and defend, more or less, and decent culture from it to 11. And still no leader. I mean, this is rough, because he only takes so many strength events and goes so long without a leader before it just becomes hard to do anything. So we have politics of strength, so we should try to use our military actions. We have strength in competition. That's not a good event to play. We can't do a war. So strength and competition, we need to get in a position to play those and be good with them. Competition's good for us now. I suspect it'll stay pretty good because blue's going to get their strength from Manhattan Project. And then strength, hopefully we can improve on that. So what would the turn look like? I think we want to take rifleman to cannon. because that helps with the tactic that we will copy. Nothing else here really helps us, I don't think. I mean, we can save a civil action by moving that unit to team sports, because we're probably going to need another happy face, right? Because we're going to get, after this one, we'll get 1 or 2 more, and we're going to lose 2. So we need 1 more happy face. So like we could solve that by moving the rifleman over to team sports instead and save a civil action. So we'll think about that. So our hand's full. So I mean, we could do this. I think we talked about doing this. So we're increasing our science production by 4, but spending 6 to get that, and we might only get 1 turn of production anyway. It is possible that all 12 cards could go away. I mean, red's hand is pretty full, so it seems unlikely, but it might be in blue's hands to decide if they want it to go another turn or not. Fast food chains is the only wonder left. Internet's no good for us. Internet would be good for blue. If they finished Manhattan Project and took internet, that would be bad. Blue may take it, but I'm sorry, red may take it. They could improve, but they don't have a lot of resources. I mean, we don't need to win. We just have to get second or have red get first, and then we're fine. So revolutionary idea, perhaps, and get a mechanized agriculture. So now we actually get 2 population next turn that we can use. We can destroy that agriculture, and we get ocean liner. That seems reasonable. We probably want to build that cannon. Copy the tactic. So now we're not weakest, although it doesn't matter right now. So there's no more H2 events, and we're holding impact of strength. We have military buildup if something happens. So this gives us 2 more strength than if we put it on team sports. Team sports would help with impact of happiness. It helps with impact of competition the same way it helps with impact of architecture. And sort of the thing is, we don't need impact of strength yet because we're holding it. Let's just go see what that looks like. If you go from cannon or warrior to team sports, then we're not, yeah, we're at 25. It helps with architecture and happiness. And now we just need to find some way to get 3 population next turn to build those units. So we have 2, wait, we didn't do everything yet. We didn't do any civil actions yet. I think it looks like that. And now we would have 1 from ocean liner, 1 from agriculture, and then I guess just we take one off of, we take a philosophy down, I guess. Philosophy or iron, one of the 2, depending on if there's another turn or not. That's reasonable, I think. So let's put impact of competition in and just hope that whatever comes out is not one that we're gonna fix here. Okay, here goes. No! It's frustrating. I was just gonna get 6 more points from that. Well, at least it was really good for red and not good for blue. So, I mean, that's good for us. Yeah, so now do we still do it, or do we just go all in on impact of strength here? And looking at our strength, I think if Blue's able to get the population together for it, and they have positional army, which I think is the best for them, they can get to 60, I think, on the button. And if we go this route, we can get 64. But we don't need 64, we only need more than 60. But we can get to 62 with the team sports. So if we go back to here, move it to team sports, then do the turn like this. So over here, we copy the tactic. Okay, we're here. Now, we could take endowment for the arts and then computers, but we're not going to play computers, so it's just sort of a wasted civil action. If you look at Blue, they have a big happiness problem. They do not have a way to fix it. I guess Steve Jobs could fix it. Give him a couple happy faces. So that is one way. Yep, so that is an option, but we could make it harder by taking this professional sports, with the idea that taking the professional sports would net us at least 6 culture against Blue over endowment for the arts, because Blue's going to struggle for happy faces. Yeah, but Steve Jobs makes that a little bit easier for them. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth trying to take away professional sports here. I think this is what we want to do here. We're ready to build our 3 units next turn by Ocean Liner, Agriculture, and destroy one of the philosophies. Yeah, Impact of Happiness kind of got ruined, but we're set up for Harmony or Architecture if they come out. So let's see what cards come out. I don't think we're doing this war. We're not doing Impact of Progress. We might need these cards to defend. The red reveals Impact of Culture, which is good for red, and blue gets some too. Not good for us. And red plays reserves. Revolutionary idea, develops air forces, increases population, builds in air forces, and takes patriotism for a few more resources. So they are, we'll talk about that in a sec. Blue reveals impact of science. We get some, red doesn't get any, blue gets 14. And then takes Churchill. Okay, so not jobs. Develops architecture, finishes Manhattan Project, collects Churchill, builds rockets, destroys a farm, builds a rocket, and plays defensive army. So they're up to 47, and they get another 11 when they build another rocket. And then they don't get much stronger after that. It's slightly hard for them to build a rocket. Slightly hard. They just destroy a scientific method or something. And hopefully they don't get stronger than red. It's our turn. So it's looking really bad for us to win here. The best we can do is help red win, and that would secure our win in the league if we can do that. So Pierre did show up, but I don't think we can take him. I think we just have to push our military up here. All Pierre does is get us culture. And that's really not what we need right now. Yeah. So that doesn't do anything. I think we want to play Impact of Strength. I think. Blue can get 59. Plus build something else. But 59 is the most obvious. And then red with 7 more can get quite a bit stronger. Then there's this wonder here. I wonder if red goes for the wonder. If red goes for the wonder, can they also get the strength? They just don't really have the resources for it. Blue is sitting on some resources. Let's see, is there anything else left? Just the engineering genius. So with 10 plus 5 is what they have, plus 3 next turn. So if they did nothing else, they'll have 9, 13, 18, which is enough to finish this and have 2 left. 2 plus 4 is 6, so they cannot get an Air Force as it stands, which is a little unfortunate. They can't get military theory. So it does leave blue a window to get stronger if they wanted to. If red doesn't take the wonder, they can get stronger. And red will get 7 on Impact of Strength regardless. Then I think the turn would be that. Squeeze. Discard tanks. You can get 59. And then I don't know what else we do. I don't think it matters. Can't research anything next turn. Urban growth, I guess we could build something. Does red have any use for urban growth? Blue might. Not really. I mean, red's not going to build anything with urban growth, I don't think. So we can just take that. And so now red does what? So we could consider taking fast food chains away, just to sort of remove it from the equation, just so blue can't possibly get it and build on it. But I don't think we need to do that. Engineering Genius is going to fall off before blue gets it. If blue does invest in fast food chains, then they really can't build any extra strength. And fast food change is not that great for blue either. So I think it's better to leave it here. Since we're not drawing any cards, we can play our Impact of Strength next turn, just based on what we see happening. You know, red can take fast food chains for 3, take and elect Pierre, take for 2, elect for 1, and take Engineering Genius. And then do the Olympics next turn, something like that. If they have a war, then they could go ahead and do the war instead of fast food chains. The war they could do is not super great, I guess. Like they can get 76, and I would have 60 something. Blue would have 61 or so. So it is 15. It is 20 points in the war that they take from someone. And if they did do that war, then you know, if they did the war against blue, blue couldn't do fast food chains anyway. If they did the war against us, then blue could still get fast food chains, and it would sort of be a wash. But that seems unlikely in this situation, since we can both basically get to the same strength, but blue is way ahead. So why would you do the war? against me at this point. So I think this is right. We don't know that red has a war. If we knew red had a war, maybe we could take fast food chains, but I guess leaving it there and risking that blue might get it is probably worth it. We'll hold on to this and play it next turn if it seems to make sense. And I think that's the turn. So red does declare the war on blue. All right, that's good for us. And does take fast food chains also. Plays patriotism with Silk Road. I keep forgetting about that. 2 actions and 5 resources. Takes engineering genius. Destroys a philosophy. Builds an air forces. Takes a multimedia. It's up to 76 strength. Can they finish fast food chains? We'll take a look. And then blue takes modern infantry. Destroys a farm. Destroys a coal. Takes engineering. Uses Churchill. Develops modern infantry. Plays reserves. Builds a rocket. Upgrades 1, 2, 3 riflemen. And they're in a bit of a tough spot there now. This is the last turn of the game. Let's take a look at what's going on. So red, I thought they couldn't finish fast food chains and do the war, but I think I forgot about Silk Road. I've forgotten about that a lot this game. So they'll have 7 plus 5 is 12 plus 1 more. Yep, so they can finish it and develop multimedia for impact of tech if it should be there. Blue has no resources. No way to get stronger at all. That's not true. He has Churchill. So he can get 3 resources and upgrade this to get 2 more strength. So most he can get is 66. There's no other way, right? He could build a knight for 2 strength. Okay, so should we play impact of strength is the question. And he'll get 12 plus 17 from blue. So blue will go to 97? No, 92. 92. Plus 11, 103. So we probably still have no chance of getting second place here. But maybe blue's in a horrible spot for impacts. Balance, harmony, 0 on both of them. So hopefully some of those are in there. I think we are going to, we're going to see if we want to put strength in, right? So we can bring in a worker, build a tank, maybe destroy an iron, build a team sports, and we are stronger. You can only get 2 stronger. So if he does get 2 stronger, we win impact of strength. So I think we can put it in. And hopefully it is harmony or balance or something similar. Although really, they're not that good for us either. Let's see. Tech. It's pretty good for blue. Yeah. Okay. I don't think we're going to get second. But that was definitely one of the best ones for blue. And it came out a turn too early because red would have gotten 4 more, but that's okay. And they got blue. I guess blue would have gotten more too. So let's do that. Increase population. Build a tank. Destroy the iron. Build. What do we do with the rest of our turn? Steve Jobs does literally nothing. We didn't discover anything. Pierre does something. Pierre does 6 culture falls. What does Mandela do? Only 4 culture. Potentially gives us 2 for impact of government, but that's the same as the 6 we get from Pierre. So we might as well do Pierre here. And we have 2 actions left. Take some cards. And that's the end of my game here, I think, right? Yeah, this is a strange, strange end to this game. We can end our turn now. There's no cards to see. Say the war happens, 17 culture, and we'll see how the rest shakes out. Oh, so red does an aggression against us. I mean, I guess even though that overall is good for us, it still feels a little bit bad, but can't blame him. We only had 1 card. So he gets 3 more culture. Red takes Steve Jobs and elects him. Discovers military theory and gets 4 culture. And then finishes fast food chains for 24 culture and ends with 182. So I think he has it locked up. Blue reveals impact of competition, which we get 27 for. That's pretty good. Red gets 19 and blue gets 17. He develops engineering, and that's his entire turn. So it might be close. We have impact of strength still. So the impact of strength, that only gets us 7, I guess, so it doesn't really get us that close. Impact of agriculture is good for us. It might be close because of the balance and harmony things. Impact of wonders is good. 2 more. Can we do it? Government, no, not as good. Might get a little bit. No, we lose. So harmony, can we do it? No, architecture. Too bad. All right, so, I mean, bad news, we got last place. Good news is that blue got 2nd place. So that locks up our win for our group 5. So we officially will move from, what are we now? Platinum up to the master group. That's going to be really fun. Get to play some really good players up there. Yeah, so this game was rough. Like it's a really good example of a failed transition out of Genghis Khan. Like we all through age 2, basically. Like he did good for us in age 1. We got some nice culture. Then age 2, we just couldn't really take a new leader because of the military situation. And we just increasingly fell behind in military and couldn't get out of Genghis Khan. It's like a great example of where Genghis gets weaker as you get through age 2. We just couldn't get out. Then no age 3 leader showed up that worked for us. Like there was the option to take Gandhi, and I mean, maybe that would have been good. Take some of the military pressure off, and gotten us some culture, but we just didn't get a good leader then till really, really late in the age. If Pierre had come a couple of turns sooner, it would have made a difference. And then we just got hit with strength event after strength event. And you can only go so long with no leader and that many strength events before it breaks you. And here we were broken. Only 14 points off though, so overall relatively close. Yeah, relatively close. So yeah, that was this game. So I think we can jump in and take a look at the standings now. So yeah, these are the standings after game 8. So we got 3rd place. We stayed at 17 points, but IirionClaus only got 2nd place. So we locked up the group. So we'll win the Platinum 2 group, move up to the Master Division, which is really exciting. There's still 1 more game in this group. It won't affect whether we win the group or not, but it's still fun to watch. So thank you for watching. It's been a fun trip through the group. I have enjoyed it. Hope you have as well. We'll see you in the next game. Thank you, as always. Catch you then.